I didn't mean for this to happen, but I'm watching Aquarius, the David Duchovny TV show from way back in the day, and Jesus Revolution. Two very different views on hippies. Chase Lee Hockey here at the Blue Futon reviewing Jesus Revolution. So what's about? It's a pretty simple story. This is based off a true story in 1968 and 1970. We're in that time frame of where war, division in the country, but know what's going to bring them together? Jesus. And so we follow the story of an old pastor, this new guy, Lenny, if I'm saying his name right, Lenny, and then another person named Greg. And it is a three-way timeline of how these people are going to bring Jesus in people's lives. So, to like this film, I thought overall it was a really good film. A little bit too long, preachy in some scenes because I've seen a lot more religious movies like, oh, I'm going to see everything in theaters. This one did push the boundaries a little bit, and some people might be a little bit annoyed. But the production design, value, acting, and some of the dialogue, even though, like I said, it's preachy, some of it is pretty damn hysterical. So with that, let's talk about the positives of the show. Let's talk about the acting first. Everyone involved is really solid acting. Like, they gave their 100% for the script. They knew exactly what they were supposed to do, and they knew the message they were trying to portray to the audience. Kelsey Grammer, I know Charlie, I thought it was going to be Charlie Manson, but I know that face from somewhere, and I just haven't researched who that person is. Now let's talk about the dialogue and overall script. I think it's a pretty good script of the true story because going into the movie, I knew it was based on a true story, but I didn't know it was going to be in three different timelines of this Grey character, the Lenny guy who you see in the trailer that kind of looks like Jesus, and Kelsey Grammer's character. I was not expecting it to be that three different timelines. I was like, okay, this adds a little bit more depth to the story. Like I said, a little preachy, but then some of the humor really, really works, and it's damn hysterical. Like, some stuff is like, oh God, that's actually really, really funny. And with some religious movies like this and like Running the Bases, some of the humor is a little cheesy. Here, the humor didn't feel cheese. The cheese factor wasn't there. Let's put it that way. The cheese factor wasn't there. Let's talk about the production design. You could tell this one had a hefty budget to it. I don't know what hefty means. I'm going to guess a $10 to $20 million budget to make this movie. And just seeing what happened in the movie theater tonight, when I said it was sold out, even the front rows, the front row, the alphas were sold out. So if this holds on to the weekend, this is easily hitting over $10 million in the box office, bar none. I will put $100 down right now that it will hit that over $10 million mark for the weekend. It will seriously happen. And then the overall message is a really good message about division in the country and what can we do to heal it. I know that we're a little bit different than Vietnam and now because we're not really in a war. I guess we're in a war with ourselves about identity politics. And it's going to be a little different than war because it's like, yeah, who doesn't like war? But here we're at a scene where it's like, I feel like a dude shouldn't be in a girl's bathroom. Arrested, you're like, oh, shit, that's where we're going in today's society. So, yeah, there's a little bit different things where you're like, something's not right with what we're doing in today's day and age. But let's talk about some of the negatives of the show. I do think it is about over 2 hours, and it is a little bit too long. There are some scenes where you're like, I understand what you're going for, but we're kind of dragging on with the stories. I understand you want to tell all three of these people's stories, but it feels like it ended on Greg's character, and the overall story is about him overall, but it felt like he was more on the back burner, and it just felt like it was a little bit uneven with who we should actually be following and who should we be like promoting, if you want to put it that way, for what this movie is trying to do. Also, the preachy factor, like I already said with the dialogue, I would say every 5 minutes there's something about, religion, Jesus, God, and the dilemma in this story is a little soft compared to what the great character went through. Like, if you actually go after the credits, I don't know if he'll be there during the weekend, but apparently his mom was divorced and remarried 7 times, and he was born out of a wedlock. So it was a one-night stand, and she was married 7 times, so he never knows his father. So you're just like, I feel like there's more of a story there of digging deep, but they decided not to do it, which I kind of understand. But then when you learn about the guy's past, you're like, we should have dug deeper and had a little bit more surface levels for this style of movie. Or, levels. Layers? Levels. Yeah. Whatever I'm talking about. Who the heck knows anymore? But I think overall, Jesus Revolution has a good message. It's about just love, not hating, and just knowing that, we're on this earth together. So let's just try to get along and just try not to attack. And we're in that culture where it feels like you have to attack. You'll be like, yo, like, some people, like, I've been watching this podcast now called Whatever, and some of these women are like, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10. And to me, that might sound really weird, but that no one's perfect. And if you're giving yourself a 10, that means you have nothing to improve on anything. So no one in life is a 10. And I think this movie's also going that route of like, love yourself, know your worth, but don't overdo it. But Jesus Revolution, let's love each other. So Jesus Revolution will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons. Equals at 70%. So let's see the critics' scores gave this one. So critics of 50%, there's 6 of them. Audience score 100%, 50 plus, no critic consensus. I'm not shocked. I'm going to say that's going to stay in the 95 to 100 range, 100%. For the tomato score, I could see it staying in the 50 to 60 range, but we will see. So 50, 70, 100. Chase Talk with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing is Futon told you. Futon, thank you for watching. Have a great day. And now I'm like, so Cocaine Bear is next. Unfortunately, it might be a little bit later. Just the fact I have a wedding to go to this weekend. I got a burp. Gross.